this my little this my little passion on the side that I have.
That's right.
All right, so we're good to go. All right, hold on 1 second. Cause we ain't freestyling. I got some shit for you.
Okay.
All right. Three, two, one. What's up, y'all? It's your main man, Jay Sands on sports, hip hop and sports entertainment at its finest. That's right, y'all. The big kid is at it again. First hip hop sports podcast started in 2007. Interview my man, Royce the 5'9" here in Baltimore at the Sonar. And we've been cranking them out ever since. This is episode 128. And today in sports history, baseball season's not over, so we can't forget about this. Today in sports history, Ricky Henderson took Lou Brock's record. So that's what happened today in sports history for all the baseball heads out there. Matter of fact, Ricky Henderson's a West Coast player, played for the Oakland A's and whatnot. Matter of fact, I think he was with the A's when he broke the record. So big up to Ricky Williams and Ricky Henderson. And check this out, yo. Hold on, we got Tahir Jahi jumping in, but yo, check this out, man. I have a very fond connection with the West Coast. I want to say that as all of us who grew up on the East Coast hip hop, the Bronx, Melly Mel and all that stuff, Pete Rock and all, but the West Coast has some flavor, and it's like. They have their own history that started. What's the cat's name? Bigger B and all the old RIP and all the old school cats from King. I remember King T active. So Cali has always been a staple, and even this year with Kendrick, last year with Kendrick, and what he's doing this year, it's just the West Coast has always had its own brand, its own style of music, its own MCs, and we're blessed to have one today, man. My brother Kool. What's up, baby? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. And speaking of King T, I just saw him at the Rhyme Fest this past weekend.
Okay, yeah, I did
Yeah.
see some. Yeah, he had the blue on. He had the blue flag on. Yeah. Hey, let me. Hey, matter of fact, first of all, at Kool, this is my cousin Tahir Jahi, co-host of Sands on Sports, and he's actually out there in LA too. Yep.
All right on. Right on.
Yep. So yeah, y'all on the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast. But yeah, King T, I saw him, and honestly, it's just great when you see somebody like King T in the flicks and all that, because you're not hearing new music really too much. Although he did drop a verse on that Exhibit album, I heard that album.
Right.
But yeah, it's just good to see him, man. You know what I mean? But hey,
I
it's good
know.
to see you, man. It's good to see you. You know what I mean? Keep Cool from the Visionaries, up above records. Keep Cool signed me, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So real deal. There's not too many people that signed Jay Sands because I own the label. So you know
Right.
what I mean? So yeah, Keep Cool helped me get a record out with my man LF Days, Southern Lady. So that was a
That's
great
right.
situation. So he's been putting in work for a long time. But don't let me say it. We're gonna let him say it. Keep Cool, man. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I mean, my history on the West Coast is I grew up on the backside of the Rhodium swap meet. So that's where Dr. Dre was selling, well, he wasn't selling the mixtapes. My man Steve Yano was like an uncle to me, Japanese American cat,
Okay.
was selling Dre's tapes after Dre was, well, during while he was with the Wrecking Crew, he started making these 4-track mixes and selling them. And then Steve ends up introducing Easy E to Dre because Easy was a drug dealer, wanted to start a record shop like Steve had at the Rhodium. It's like the back wall. We were kids hopping over the wall every weekend, and we would see Dre there. We'd see all kinds of people there. And Steve Yano introduced Easy to Dre eventually, not right off the bat, because he was like leery of introducing him, but
Yeah.
he kept bugging him, and that's what turned into NWA. They pressed the Boys in the Hood, and it was history from there. So I was like the little peewee living on the back wall, seeing all that happen. So that's my origins for hip hop, starting as a b-boy and a popper and a graph writing and DJing and all that. So I just saw that growing up. So that's how I got into hip hop with they call that like the ground zero of West Coast hip hop, even though there was Ice T and cats doing it. That
Yeah.
was like that was the record that exploded, right? So just seeing that all coming up through middle school and high school. That's where I got into the music industry as well. So,
Yeah. So
yep.
you were in Compton?
I was in on the border of Gardena and Torrance, right? So Compton is the next city over. So we're all together. Carson, Compton, Gardena, North Torrance. So Fuck the Police was actually recorded. The whole NWA album was recorded in Old Torrance at a studio called Audio Achievements. And
Uh-huh.
Torrance police were notorious for trying to guard the border against Gardena,
Yeah.
Compton, Lawndale, Hawthorne, all the cities that were the hood. North Torrance, where I grew up, was right on the edge of it. So Torrance police, they would even sweat me in front of my own house because they're trying to guard the border.
Yeah.
So when NWA was recording Audio Achievements, they're like, "What the hell's going on here?" So they sweated him, and that's where Cube went inside. Was like, "Fuck this," and wrote "Fuck the police." So that
Yeah.
was about the police that literally drew guns in front of me, in front of my house, coming home with elemental from something just for no
Okay.
reason. Just like, where do you? I'm like, I live right here. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? And so that's that whole area. Be Real literally lived like 3 blocks away from me on the corner. This apartment complex where G13 Mexican Mafia was all there. It would always get shot up. Be Real lived there. Booyah Tribe, Gangster Rid lived down the
Yeah.
street. They're from Carson, but at the time I'd always see him at the local Hawaiian food restaurants and hey, what's up, Key? And I was like, Red, you live over here now? He's like, yeah. So it's like all them cats, like we all were all kind of like in the area. I'd go to Target and see DJ Quick shopping with his kids. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
just all in that pocket. We're all in that South Bay. Raz Kaz was over in Carson as well. But that's like our whole little area. But right where I was, by El Camino College, that's where the Rhodium swap meet was. And I was like, again, that's where NWA met and the homie Steve Yano. They didn't put him in the movie, but there's a good article about that whole Rhodium, all the mixtapes and all that, and how that was the origin story of NWA started there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting you were talking about the police in Torrance and
Hmm.
right now a big thing in America is redistricting, trying to reshape the neighborhoods. I'm in Baltimore. They call Baltimore the capital of redlining, where redlining where they had segregated neighborhoods. Like if you're black, you can't go to this neighborhood. If you're white, you can't go to this neighborhood. So that's probably it may correct me if I'm wrong. That's probably what was happening in Torrance. They were trying to protect that border to keep is it a white? Is Torrance a white neighborhood?
Torrance is a mixture because Torrance is big. So
Okay.
on one side of Torrance, you have it's butted up against, the literally probably the highest property value in the United States in Palos Verdes, the hills. That's the peninsula. And then on the beaches, you got like Torrance Beach, Hermosa Beach, Manhattan Beach, where all the NBA players now live. Like,
Yeah.
so that area closer to the hill and to the beaches is the rich area. On the edges, you got Carson, Lomita, Harbor City. We're all the Samoans, the Filipinos, the Mexicans, the black, all the community. We're all diverse, but they look at any minority or anyone that's poor, even any kid. You could be a white kid, but they're looking at it like we don't want this element here
Yeah.
messing up our city. And I get why they don't want their property values or whatever to be affected. So, but at the same time, they're extra harsh because they're again trying to guard that border. As soon as you cross a certain street, it's like woo, you know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
they're up on you. And I literally lived on the border, on the edge of Redondo Beach and Crenshaw and Van Ness. So if you cross the street north, you're in South LA or Gardena. If you on the south side of the street is where the Rhodium was, the swap meet. That's the side I lived on the back wall of that. So, I'm just right there and it's also a freeway city. All the freeways in Los Angeles, LA is known for their freeways.
Yeah.
So the 110, the 91, the 405, they all meet right there in Gardena. So imagine like how many people are coming through that area and how easy it is for someone to just pop out, rob a house, jump on whatever freeway. You don't know which
Yeah.
direction they're going. Like they don't know. So it's like a hub and also a lot of criminal activity. And it's by just north of the port of Los Angeles, where that's where all the money goes through and all the, you know,
Yeah.
the contraband and everything comes through. So like we're right at that pocket of just a lot of money, a lot of hustling, a lot of street activity, a lot of, organized crime and everything. John Gotti was hiding out in Torrance because that was a city where he could be close to everything for years. So it's got its interesting history interesting, how would you say, dynamic. And also, at that same time, that's why we all grew up around everything. So we chose our lanes. You know what I mean? We chose, like, I was like, if I get caught up in this, I'm gonna probably be dead quicker than anything, right? So I luckily I found hip hop. So that was my avenue of, even the gangsters was like, hey, come DJ my party, right? And I'm like, all right, I can make my money that way instead of like getting caught up, right? So
Yeah.
that's why hip hop kind of like kept us out of doing anything real stupid, or kept me. Some of my friends did a lot of stupid stuff, but
Yeah.
that's another story.
LA, man. Well, yo, check this out. Usually we ask people to give a 20-second bio about themselves, but you broke it down already. So do this for me. Did this for me though, right? This is
Right.
for Jay Sands. Can you give me a 20-second bio about the Visionaries?
Yeah, man. Visionaries is a six-man crew. It's five MCs. It's Elemento, two mechs, Lord Zen, Danu, and myself, Kool, and our DJ and producer is DJ Rhythmatic from the world famous Beat Junkies.
That's right.
And yeah, we're I met Elemento in my first group. We got recruited by Rhyme Syndicate Management, so that's where I first met. They were trying to make a group called the United Nations, which was exactly
Yeah.
what the Visionaries are through friendship, but they try to manufacture it. But that's how I met Elemento. Two Mex is part of the Good Life of Mexican descent. They were like some of the OGs from the Good Life, like Freestyle Fellowship on all them cats. Good Life
Mhm.
was known as a breeding ground of all the dope, a lot of the dope MCs out of LA. And then Zen, I mean, that dude was a popper, graffiti artist. He's man, he's just uber talented. He's from actually, I think he was born in Queens, but then he came out here early. His family's based in New York, and then Indiana and here. And then Danu's from San Diego. He's from South San Diego, and he grew up like DJ Jam, like Snoop's DJ. He knows those guys growing up, and he came up to LA when he was in college, and that's how we met him when he was in Long Beach. So, yeah, that's the Visionaries. We have like five records. We got a new one coming out. I mean, shit, Visionaries has taken us
Yeah.
all around the world. So
Yes,
that's us.
right.
That's us. The United Colors of Benetton of rap. But that's always a joke. Everyone always.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I could dig. Well, hey, this is the sports show, so I gotta ask you, man.
hmm
We're going to dive into your favorite teams, man. The teams that yeah, you can whoop some ass if they lose.
Oh, I
So,
mean, of course, I first and foremost, I'm a basketball head.
okay.
I grew up a Lakers fan. I'm a bit older, born in 1970, so I remember when the Lakers were pre-Magic Johnson. We used to be able to go to the Forum. While I got pictures of me and with Brad Davis, just you could walk up to the players, sit down next to them, take pictures,
Yeah.
and it was cheap to go. You would just always go because it was easy. So of course I grew up with the Lakers and die hard. And we just been so like to be a Laker fan, it's like you just know that hopefully every you get used to winning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And getting to see great players all the time. So with that being said, I also grew up a Dodgers fan because
Okay.
my grandfather, who was a Buddhist minister, and I was the youngest of my mom's side of the family. He was always the hardest on me. He always picked on me for no reason. But the one thing we could do, I'll just flip on KTTV, put on a Dodger games on and flip it on. And that was the one way I could get on his good side. We'd sit there. He was a Dodgers fan since they were in Brooklyn, and he's like Jackie Robinson. That he loved the fact that him being a Japanese in America and going to the camps and stuff and seeing all this like prejudice against people when he saw Jackie Robinson, he's like, that's the team. And he followed them from Brooklyn all the way to here. And we would always, I mean, he's a minister retired. I'd see him listening to playoff games on his little headset.
Yeah.
He's sitting there in the middle of a service. We're like, hey, G-Chud's listening to the Dodger game right now because you could see you could see his little earpiece looks like a hearing aid. He's listening to the Dodgers. So, yeah. And then as far as football goes, I was initially a Rams fan, and
Okay.
then Georgia Fontaine, whatever her name was, the devil that went down to Georgia, that owner took over after her husband mysteriously died drowning, and we're like, yeah, she sold her soul. So when she took the LA Rams into Anaheim, called them the Anaheim Rams, I was like, that's it. And then she
Yeah.
took them to St. Louis. We're like, no, it's over. So then we were obviously I like Raiders as
Yeah.
well because my grandfather, the same minister, he was in Oakland when I was a kid, so we would always see Oakland Raider games. I always thought, oh, they're badass with the shield and all that, and Ken Stabler and all these cats. So I always liked them and Jim Plunkett and Tom
Okay.
Flores being a Mexican coach. Like, dude, that dude's Mexican, like. So we liked the Raiders too. So when they came to LA and Marcus Allen was playing, they won the Super Bowl. Like I, became kind of a Raiders fan as well. And
Mhm.
then, everyone in LA became Raiders fans. They're like, fuck
Yeah.
the Rams, right? They're like, fuck them. They left us, fuck them, right? And that's why everyone became Raiders fans in LA. And then all the crazy shit happened. And you're just like, it's hard to cheer for them now. But still, like, I would say
Yeah.
I still like the Raiders. And now that the Chargers are in LA, I don't like them. I like them when they were in San Diego because Dan was in San Diego. He had a bolt tattooed on his leg. I'll be like, I'll root for them, like, just because you like them. But we had no team in LA for a while for football. So, I went to UCLA and UCLA football was like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
always second fiddle to USC, so it was hard, but we had some good years with Aikman and all that. But
Yeah. I
you know,
remember.
so
Rodney
LA was like
Peete,
a college
Aikman,
football town. Yeah.
Wars.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you play any sports coming up?
Yeah, I played basketball. I played 2 years varsity.
Oh.
I played against a lot of pro players. Like when I was growing up, I was like the best kid in my area, one
Mm.
of the best. And I would play in the South LA League, and some of the cats I played against, we'd battle like in like championships and stuff like Derek Martin. I don't know if you know him, but he was a point guard. He went to the UCLA. He played for the Timberwolves, the Clippers. He
Yeah,
was
I'm
like
here.
a perennial journeyman, but he and I used to battle. He's the same height
Yeah.
as me, still the same height. I just saw him at my son's my club tournament. My son was playing. I was like, Derek, and he's like, oh shit, man, I hadn't seen
Yeah.
him in years. So, but yeah, I played basketball. Then I picked up volleyball in ninth grade because Torrance is by the ocean. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, you could jump. I had a 40-inch vert when I was younger, so. I just picked up volleyball, and it just so happened that the guys that were coaching all the top volleyball players. Hey, come on our club. And I just joined, and then I got recruited to play at UCLA. But that was my second sport, so I didn't have all the fundamentals. So
Yeah.
I was okay, but I went there to play, and I was like, man, I'm just average amongst Olympians. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
my friends were all gold medalists. So I was like, man, and then that's when I got into the Rhyme Syndicate, and I was like, "Fuck that!" I'm like, hip hop's my passion. Not volleyball is just like my second sport. If it was basketball, I'd be like, "Hell yeah!" But
Yeah.
volleyball is like, it's fun, but this is not my lifestyle. This is not my sport. I just happen to be okay at it, I guess. So yeah, and then little fun fact though, but my sister, she played at UCLA. She was a point guard.
Okay.
She was the first Asian American to get a Division I scholarship for basketball back in. She played in I think 84 to 88 back when Cheryl Miller was playing at USC.
Oh, okay.
So she was a baller. So she still coaches and all that. So our family's like rooted in basketball basically. So
Okay. Got you.
yep, yep.
And well, check it out. This is the part of the show we call Back When I Played. So you got a story from back when you played?
Let me see.
A game you won, a game you
Oh, you know
lost.
what? Yeah, you know what? I mean, I could talk about like, several things, but the one thing that we did was that's relevant to today is when I was a senior, Ed O'Bannon was at Artesia High, and if you guys don't know Ed O'Bannon, we
Yeah.
gave him they were national champions that year. We played them preseason. We gave them their one loss the whole entire year on their record, just whatever, and one. We gave them their one loss, and Edo, first, tips the ball. They just get it to a guard and they just alley oop him, and we're just looking at him going, God dang, man, this dude is a beast. And then he was guarding me, and he's like, "You ain't got no handles. You ain't got no handles." So I did an in and out, but I went through my top leg, so he thought I was going this way, and I went through my legs back to my same hand, and I made a layup on him. And after the game, he came up to me. He's like, "Hey man, I was just fucking with you, man. You got handles. You got handles." And he
Yeah.
gave me a cool ass dude. So like when they won the national championship in '95, and then the fact that he's the one that sued the NCAA for using his likeness and image, and he's the one that got the ball rolling. I'm like, hell yeah, man. That dude, like I was like, I knew he was special. He got a knee injury, didn't really get to play in the NBA, but
Yeah.
he was a smart dude, and he was like, they ain't using my face on this game and not paying me royalties. Like, how are you gonna do that? It's like us as artists getting fucked over, right? So,
Well,
you know, so Ed
it's
O,
kind of
like
like the
that,
music
yeah.
industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, and with that being said, we're gonna go into the music industry out of the first quarter into the second quarter.
Er,
Ready
er,
to the
er.
second quarter, and we were talking about a little bit earlier, man. But please tell us about Rhyme Fest, man. I seen all the pictures, man. Tell us a little bit more about Rhyme Fest. How did y'all do, man?
Well, Rhyme Fest, it was started by Scooby, and Tumex from my crew was actually one of the partners starting it. So
Big up to
we did
man.
it. The very, very first one we did at the Ukrainian Cultural Center. Man, that was like ten years ago, I think. And
Yeah,
it was us, KRS-One, and OMD, two Mexicans group of Mexican descent. It was like, you know, it's like a 500 capacity or something like that. But man, it grew, and the dude Scooby had been he's been hustling. He saw the models of like Rock the Bells and Paid
yeah,
Dues, and you know, just through the years he's been grinding and learning how to market it and how to put together the business packages, and finally got a deal with the LA Coliseum. So last year was the first time at the Coliseum, and to be honest, it's I mean that's a difficult place to have a show because it's like a
yeah.
historic place, right? So they're like worried about graffiti, they're worried about hip hop element, so they're like, you know, turning screws on everything. So the logistics of throwing a show there is bananas. But the fact that, you know, you get thousands of people out there in the middle of LA and performing in front of the torch at the Coliseum, like it's a pretty epic event with you know, thousands of people out there and all these different, like you saw the lineup from this year, right? There's all these different groups.
Crazy.
I was happy that Master Ace was on there, and Dead Prez, you know, and oh, even Onyx killed it. You know what I mean? Like there's a, you know, the other homies like Dilated Peoples and our other friends, you know, of course, like we rock with them all the time through the years, but getting to see some of the dudes like especially Master Ace, man, like he's consistently dope. And you know, we listen to him since Me and the Biz, you know what I mean, and the symphony, you know, as fans, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what's dope for us to be able to play a show and be able to rock it with people like that. And yeah, we had a good time. We had a good time for sure.
Did you go to Rhyme Fest, cuz?
Nope, nope.
Okay.
I wanted to, but
We got to plan the trip. I got to come fly to you, and then we got to go.
yeah. We gotta definitely do that for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean it'll be cracking next year. I don't know if it's still going to be at the Coliseum, but I mean if it's somewhere, they're definitely standing to, you know, look to make it bigger because I mean that space is big. It has a capacity for two stages, but honestly, they need bigger stages, you know, just to make it feel the way it needs to be. But it's dope. I mean, they don't do it inside the Coliseum. It's on the outside of it in front of the
Okay.
torch because they
Yeah.
don't want people in the Coliseum. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like I've been to a Budweiser Superfest back in like '88, and man, it was mayhem. Like with all the gangsters there too, you would just see like bent like the whole bleacher sections of people waterfalling because, you know, it's like a waterfall of people just jumping over seats because some dude, you know, is going, you know, breaks out a weapon or something. But anyway, that's all negative. But it was
Yeah.
still fun. That was still fun though. I mean, I think when we were young and crazy, we didn't really care about that. We were just out there, you know,
Right.
enjoying it. But
And then given the fact that, COVID, we're, we're kind of post COVID,
right,
what I mean? People
right.
just getting out there. It's good to see folks start to hit up the festivals and whatnot. So,
For sure, for sure. You
mhm.
know, it was crazy during COVID because not being able to have that avenue of being able to do shows and stuff like that, you know, and artists to be, you know, we sit out there and we slang merch all day and just
Hmm.
sit there talking to, you know, heads that go to the show. So for us, you know, that's how we built our following, like just being out there, you know, and through Rock the Bells, Paid Dues. There's another one called Back to Basics. It's funny because every one of those events we played pretty much the very first event, you know, from the start of it. We're kind of like the building block group. They always reach out to us. So like, we're doing a festival. We need you guys on the show. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's how it is for us in LA because they,
Respect on that. Yeah.
yeah. So we've been part of like the start of many of these shows so that we get to come back every year or every other year or so to rock most of these things. So, but
Mm.
yeah, man, you got to come out, Jay, for sure.
Soon. I gotta add, like we talk. We'll get into it later, but I got a 16-year-old man, so I'm just laying low until the graduation date. No,
Uh,
you know,
yep.
yeah. The best place for me to be is on the couch.
Right. Hey, I brought my kids out. I made them work the booth this year.
Okay, and think about it, my kid, like all this music stuff, all these pianos and guitar. That's my kid. She plays it, so
Oh, dope.
she
Oh,
would definitely.
man, if you
Yeah,
bring her house, she'd enjoy it, man.
yeah.
Rhyme Fest is actually all ages, so it's a lot of people bring their kids out there too, which is dope.
Say
Yeah.
word. So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, how did you get involved with Up Above Records?
Well, Up Above Records, basically in 91, 92, before I met Redmatic, my business partner, Doug Cotto, was my manager.
Mm,
And so we're doing this, the trying to shop a demo thing, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
as we are doing so, every record label was like saying crazy stuff to us. Like I had one A&R say Asian people don't listen to hip hop. And I was like, I could take you to like two different venues of 1,000 people like singing hip hop songs word for word out loud. You know what I mean? Like, and I had, other people say crazy stuff to us. So Violet Brown, I don't know if you know Violet Brown. She was the buyer for the warehouse. She was actually lived in my neighborhood in North Torrance, and we met her because Doug Cotto, he knew her good friend was his teacher growing up. So he's like, I got this person, Violet Brown. We're like, you know Violet Brown, and she was like, fuck all these record labels. They don't know what they're talking about. Why don't you guys do like Too Short and them do from the Bay? And she says, I can't buy records directly from you, but I'll hook you up with a distributor if you guys just fund your own stuff, like however you get the money. She's like, I don't know, like just fund it, press it up, and I'll buy it off the distributor. So we're like, well, screw it, let's do that. So we started Up Above Records that way. It was initially me, Ratmatic, and Doug, and we just pressed up Cosmonauts, which is the 30-year anniversary just passed last Friday. Was our very first record, Cosmonauts, and we just pressed it up, and you know it's hard to make money, putting out records unless you're selling like hundreds of thousands. But what helped us was we understand Japanese, and DJ Curtis Harmon from 1580K Day was in Japan. Somehow picks up our record. He had his ear to the street, knew Razkaz was on a 12-inch, and he's like walks it into, we didn't know him at the time, but he walks it into Manhattan Records in Japan, in Shibuya, and they're like, what is this? He's like, this dude is Japanese. And then so they call our office, and we could tell it's like a Japanese accent, and they're like, they want to order it. And then we start talking Japanese to them. They're like, oh, we want to Kenya. No, I see, I could do that because I'm Japanese. I can make fun of the Japanese accent, right? Now, anyway, so they call, and they're like, you guys could speak Japanese? Well, can you get a hold of this person and that person and this person? Because we've been trying to reach them. And they want all these different underground, whatever records. And so that's how the business leg with Japan started happening. And that's how, Up Above Records started becoming this, avenue of getting a lot of artists. I mean, you could name pretty much anyone that anyone who's anyone, just name that artist, and we've probably done a record for them or connected them or done something for their label, um, getting out to Japan. So that became, how would you say, the bread and butter in a sense. But Up Above Records, I ran the record label, so I was just picking different stuff. And my homie Daryl,
Mm.
Daryl Powell, D Smooth, he
D
was our
Smooth.
yeah, he connected us with all the dope folks. I go, oh, you
D
know that
Smooth,
cat?
what up, D
Yeah,
Smooth,
yeah, D
motherfucker?
Smooth. Yeah, so since we had an office in Union Square, New York, for the business export, the Up Above Entertainment, the exporting of records to Japan, Up Above Records benefited from that too, because we would connect with cats like y'all and JD. We did Fuck the Police. I heard that over the phone, and I was like, that's a JD record.
Yeah.
And they played it. They're like, no one, people don't want to pick it up. Like, they give them the money right now. Like, give them the money right now. Got that record. I just heard it over the phone. I go, just give them the money. You
Yeah.
lock that down, because that was like the best record I ever heard. Like at the time, I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
So when we put that record out, that kind of help Up Above Records get on the map, and help the Visionaries actually, get some exposure that way too. So,
You know what that it reminds me of is the whole MP3 movement, right?
hmm
Uh, where people, well, labels said if you weren't selling this amount of records, then we're going to stop pressing you up, right?
Right.
You had all these people looking for those artists. And
Right.
so, your Napsters, your MP3.coms, these platforms that allowed you to access these
Right.
artists, right? Whether it was
Right.
free or, you know what I mean, they paid directly to the artist.
Right.
Sounds like that's where y'all found y'all niche, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'll give it to Doug and his business acumen. So that was he started running, all the stuff for Japan. So I was separate from that. I was just, an artist just trying to put out other artists. But so when Doug was doing that, he started, people like Def Jam was like, we don't have money to do promo wax vinyl. And Doug is like, hey, Japan will buy this amount if you give us the rights to press it up for Japan. They'll give you this up front. You'll get your promo vinyl for free, and then they're going to sell through the rest of this. We're going to keep the cats, create keep it accurate so you know exactly how much you made off of this or you paid for your promos. Your artists don't have to recoup on it, and then they make their profit off the whatever 1,000 copies they sell. So that
Win, win,
basically he
win.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so they started, they started asking, Japan to make the promo copies for them so they wouldn't have to pay for it. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, it's like the artists benefit because they get promo copies or whatever. I don't know exactly the dynamic of everything contractually and all that because you know how that goes, man. I was just like, but it was a hustle, and everyone who was everyone, like Kanye came and was like, I'm gonna do a mixtape for Japan. He did a mixtape with DJ A-Track, like different cats, like different major people. Like they're like, you guys pay cash up front. I'm gonna give you this project. Don't, and they would just do some white label single that Japan would have them. Everyone would be like, what is that? Where'd that come from? And we went direct with the artists. They're just bringing records in. Commons people would come in. They were just like, here, Raekwon,
Mm.
everyone would come and be like, here's a record. We're not putting it out. The label's not putting it out. I want to do it through Japan. And so,
Hell yeah.
for a good moment, there was a lot of business going on, through our New York office and stuff. So, we're just the independent leg of it. So I was just running with the visionaries, just doing our thing, and again, different records that we would, I would be like, oh, dude, I like they played that Southern Lady record. I was like, oh my God, this record is dope. You know what I mean? So I was just in it for the art of it, just
Yeah.
like we got to branch out to cats from different areas that I think, are the dopest dudes from that area or whatever. So that's how I looked at it, strictly from the artist standpoint.
Mm.
And so, that's just it was just something that was how would you say, Up Above Records was definitely one of those, it was like a passion project in a sense, you know what I mean? Because as you know, again, making records and making money, artists make probably more money off of shows and merchandise than they
Yeah.
do off of the record sale. Because it's like the cost of putting out and pressing up the record and distributing it. Dude, every time we're like, oh, we're even on this record, that's cool. Because
Yeah.
each
You
record,
happy.
the vinyl costs so much to make and you only sell it for, the markup is not that big. So we're just like, damn, we ain't even making money off these records. I go, but we got a dope ass catalog of records.
Yeah.
So like I say, that was like a passion project because I'm just like, hey, at least we got these dope records. That's all I cared about at the time as an artist. But as a more of a mature businessman in this day and age, I'm like, no wonder Doug was always like, God damn, man, what are you guys doing? I was
Yeah.
like, one of these is gonna crack. Who knows, right? Like I was like, I don't care. I feel good about it because it's dope. You know what I mean? So, you know what I
I'm
mean?
sweating.
Yeah, yeah. And Doug is like, what the fuck? But at least he was making his money exporting records. But
Yeah.
I should have been doing that side of it and not the artist side of it, to be honest. But
Yeah.
nah, I wouldn't trade it for the world though, because it's like looking back at all the dope people we got to work with. Like again, we have this connection through that, right? So,
Yes, sir.
you
Yes,
know,
sir.
that
Appreciate it.
that's what it means to me. Like for real, for this whole hip hop thing, like a lot of people, like I see artists at all these shows and they just sit there backstage or whatever, and they don't connect with the people. But as you know, when you go to Europe or you go to
Yeah,
Japan, you go anywhere, you meet all these good people that are like-minded like you, and you connect because the culture of hip hop brings you together with like-minded people.
yeah,
Some people miss that fact and they get into the little star zones and they miss the fact that, dude, we could go anywhere in the world and there's gonna be someone that's gonna be like, hey, if you ever need a place to stay,
Yeah.
you can stay at my house. And they really care about your well-being and they connect with you because they share a culture with you. And it's like, who can say that? I'm like, that to me is so valuable that people miss it. Like as a kid, hip hop kept me out of being in gangs and being a drug dealer.
Yeah.
I am forever indebted to the culture of hip hop for showing me positivity, for making me want to be knowledgeable about myself, and for respecting others' cultures through our appreciation of our expression of our own stories, right? So
Mhm.
that to me is like more valuable than any of the platinum records on the wall and any of that. Although it's nice to get paid for doing what
Fucking
you
right.
love, that's not absolutely about just that. And I think the disconnect is not sad, but it's a shame that more people don't realize the true essence and the true value of what we have as hip hop artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that ironic how hip hop, for most people who have partaken in the culture itself, has saved them some way, in some form, but how it's projected, you know, and to the world is that it's, you know, belligerent, you know. So it's good to hear um, your story and the fact that what it's done for you, hip hop itself. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and honestly, like they were trying to get Public Enemy for Rhyme Fest, and I was like, that's who they need in this day and age. You know, like
Yeah.
without we had Harry Allen do the intro on our last Visionaries record, and to all of us, like as fans of Public Enemy, and for him to do the voice, to have his voice on a record, like literally all of us were like, I mean, we are geeking out. Like we're not the type, but we're like, we have his voice on our record. Are you
Yeah.
serious? He's the Public Enemy, Poor Righteous Teachers, the groups, even Brother J X Clan,
Yeah.
those groups helped us go, damn, we have to tell about our story. Like we have to use hip hop as a vehicle to get our story or to tell our story of our struggle, our people, right? And it's everyone's like, oh, you want to be black? No, I don't want to be black. I embrace black music and black the culture of hip hop. I embrace black music because my parents went to see James Brown, in 1963 at the Palladium. They have all these jazz records here. I embrace black music because I was raised on black music. I ain't trying to be black. I'm being me, and I
Mhm.
appreciate black music in the fact that I'm not trying to appropriate nothing. I'm just trying to create and express, and the way I know best is the stuff that I love. And it's like you know
Most people who say that are projecting. Very
could
clear.
be, could be.
It's very clear that you, at every scene, what you shared with us, every stage of your young life and to now, you that's like you embraced, loved, and you exude hip hop.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. But
Like
I
I look at
also
your face right
understand,
here.
yeah, I also understand why you want to protect a culture because rock and roll and so many other things. I mean, the whole existence of certain uh exploitations is all based on somebody exploiting and literally taking a black human being from Africa and treating them as if they own them, right? And so taking away a culture like you know, rock and roll and saying it's making it theirs and just, raping it basically. Like, yes, defend hip hop, but also understand that we defend hip hop and we defend universally people that need to be, stand together against these, oppressive, pillaging, raping, people. We stand together, right? So it's
Yeah.
like there's a difference. Like, and I get it. I understand the anger. I feel the same way. Like,
Yeah.
don't let these people just not know the history, not appreciate, not just exploit it. But at the same time, some people just don't know better, right? That's it.
Yeah.
They're just ignorant.
Yeah,
So
when someone holds your baby, you know what I'm saying? And you
right,
see how they hold them like with care,
right,
that's different than someone, grabbing your baby by the arm and swinging
right.
it around. And, uh,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's a good analogy. I like that.
Word. But check this out, y'all. We are going out of the second quarter. We're going to run through halftime real quick. I want to see if you guys have any thoughts on the Jake Paul Gervonta Davis fight. I think Gervonta gonna get 100 mil from that.
Oh man. Oh man.
So we can't be mad that he's taking 100 mil. I mean, I don't.
Right.
Yeah, 100
Right.
mil. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll fight. I'll fight that dude that almost beat my ass after I cast this 100 mil dog check.
I mean,
Roach. His name's Roach.
yeah, I mean, Jake Paul, that dude, he definitely has brought a certain awareness into it's kind of like how we feel about, I'm sure true fight fans and true, you know, they feel like how some of us feel about when we hear
Yeah.
certain artists. You're just like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, man, they're making I guess, like it's just like how can you argue that? No, I'm not even gonna say how can you argue. I'm just saying, like you said, if someone's making that, getting that much attention and bringing and paying someone to fight him, and hopefully they're not, like what you think about the Tyson fight. Like, I think Tyson, he had to act a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, just as everyone said.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, but you know what? I'm glad Mike Tyson is making that money. Like,
He
I don't
made
care.
that
I
money.
know
Yeah.
we all know he probably he would beat his ass. You know what I mean? Like, I believe that. But anyway, I'm like, and we also seen a lot of boxing where you're just like, when boxing was corrupt when
Yeah.
we were growing up, I'm like, that didn't
Still
seem
is.
right. Yeah, that didn't seem right. That wasn't Hearns Hagler, right? That wasn't two dudes just going, just showing heart, throwing down. That wasn't, Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard. That
Ooh.
was like some acting, right? Like that wasn't like Ollie Frazier. Like the great fights that I can remember. I don't remember Ollie Frazier. I was a little too young for that, but I saw the highlights and stuff. But
Uh-huh.
I remember Hearns Hagler and even
Yeah.
Duran Leonard,
Yeah.
the Leonard fights and No Mas No More Boxing. Like I remember those going, damn, that was like the best fights I've ever seen that you didn't go, was that fake? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but even Tyson's early fights, you're just like, that can't
Oh,
be fake because he's knocking motherfuckers out like in the first round.
yeah. Yeah.
Boom. You're like,
And them dudes
oh,
scared.
I just paid $20 to watch pay-per-view and it was over in like 60 seconds. But so
It's
yeah, so I'm saying whatever happens with Jay, I watch with a certain interest and a certain bit of, trying to be open-minded to it and
yeah.
trying hoping that you see a good fight and always feeling a little let down, to be honest. You know what I mean? Going,
Mm.
yeah, it just felt kind of dirty. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel right watching this, you know what I mean? But I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, there's a reason why they call these exhibitions, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
That's a big, good word.
A public display of works of art, right?
Right, right, right.
Held in an art gallery or a
Right.
museum or a trade fair, right? That's
Right,
like
right. Right, right, right.
so, you know, folks, I know folks who are very staunch conservative on their thoughts on boxing. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's the sweet science. They're going to talk. But this fits in a whole different lane. You know,
Right.
because over the years, boxing really, is trying to find itself again. Just like you said, like there's certain matches looking like, oh man, they can hype this thing up and then come out the way that it was, and so it opened up this whole lane for Paul, and
He's
he's
smashed.
you gotta give it to him. He's working out. He's working hard. You know what I'm saying? And of course he has this access to the capital, right?
Yes, he
To
was.
put up the money. You know, so you can't be mad at for someone taking that.
I ain't mad at it. I'm just glad football season's here. So we're out of halftime and later for that bullshit. We're going into the third quarter. In the third quarter, football, 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 football. Look at my thumb, yo. Madden is back. NCAA 26 is back. Man, I'm playing PlayStation. Bruh, look at my thumb. Yo, check this out, man. Hey, college football got a big game coming up Saturday, Ohio State and Texas, man. That 1 versus 2. So man, Karis one is in DC for free. I'm trying to juggle what I'm gonna do. Watch the game, let's see Karis one for free. I don't know what I'm gonna
Right,
do.
right, right,
But
right.
yeah, so the college is heating up. The NFL, they just made the cuts today at noon. The NFL cuts were today. So they're getting ready to heat up as well. So how y'all fellas feel about football starting back up?
Well, you know how that is, man. It's we're getting through the lull of that summer where you're just like,
Yeah.
I ain't nothing even to watch right now,
Yeah.
right? And so it's exciting. Like, okay, finally. I mean, don't get me wrong, I watch Dodgers baseball,
Yeah,
but that's different from watching basketball or football. So you know what I mean?
that's right.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, here we go. Like it couldn't come quick enough. It couldn't come quick enough. But hey, I lived in so we moved out to Texas for like 3 years, built a house out there. We just moved back to LA last year. But man, living in San Antonio, like just south of UT and just,
Yeah.
right by Texas A&M,
Yeah.
and the craziness of college football in Texas.
Mm.
Oh my God, I didn't know. I mean, I know everyone in you see it in LA, you see SC flags everywhere. SC people are like cultists, but I mean, they're ready to fight in Texas. Like if you're from A&M, I was like, damn, I didn't know, football in Texas. I was just like, wow. And
Yeah.
so I always felt that crazy, like, because here like LA, you got everything. Texas, oh man, just feeling that energy from the football season out there for college football. I was like, wow, I finally understood. It's like the SEC, right? If you go to a SEC school, it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
that's
I've been to
it.
one of those.
The
Yeah.
whole city's just all about that. You know what I
Whole
mean?
city.
Yep. So,
But
oh,
like most of these towns don't have airports. They're like
we
real small towns. The only thing that's popping is the college, like Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio, they don't have a professional team, so Ohio State football is it.
we played at Boise State. I mean, we played in Boise when
Yeah,
Boise State was playing Fresno State rival game that night.
yeah,
And we're like, who booked the show on a rivalry game when two teams are at the top of the league? And I'm just like, oh my God, this is going to be a disaster. And people showed up, but that the whole town was at the game. Like, we're
right.
like, why would you book a show on, you didn't see the college schedule? You're literally your whole town. If they're not at the game, they're at home
Yeah,
getting drunk, too drunk to come out after because they're watching the game. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care if they're not paying attention to the game, they're probably dead. They're not
yeah.
alive. You know what I mean? Like,
They had the blue
so
turf.
yeah, 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 yeah.
They had the
So
blue turf when you were there.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
They had the blue
yeah,
carpet.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's dope, man.
yeah.
That's dope, man. Well, hey, I just tired.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Give me some football input, man. I got money. I'm gonna be betting, man. Come on, man. Give me a
Well,
parlay or something.
hey, listen, I just my draft, I had a league on Yahoo for about 20 some years.
Okay.
Our draft a couple days ago. And man, Travis Hunter.
Oh wow.
I,
Yeah.
I ended up grabbing him, right? Probably in the fifth round. And I throw him at corner.
Hmm.
He's gonna be a wide receiver too. So, you know, I just had mad people texting me like, yo, why'd you pick him? This, that, and the third. They didn't realize that I could throw him on defense and have extra wide receiver
Yeah.
getting points. You know what I'm saying? So you know, fantasy football was in my head, and then looking at what's happening with uh Beanie Bishop being released by the Steelers. I was a little upset about that, but at the
Hey,
same
good about
time, I was
that
thinking
too.
like, our secondary must be really, really nice for us to get rid of.
Yeah. Shoot,
All right,
Ramsey, Darius Slay.
all right.
Yeah, man, they ready to play some ball, man. They ready to play some ball on the defense. I just don't know what your man Aaron Rodgers gonna do. Oh,
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers,
So,
yeah.
no, I think
oh
I
man.
think I'm excited to see what the Steelers is going to do. I think we're going to have top five defense. I think Rodgers is better than Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? I think we'll probably see about 10 and 11 and 6, something like that. You know what I mean? 11 and 5, something like that. So I'm excited to see what's going on there. Watching um, players not get paid the way that they should be getting paid as well. You know, just it's very interesting to watch the dynamics when it comes to uh, preseason
Yeah.
energy. But also watching, I don't know if y'all seen uh the documentary on Netflix. It's the Gambler and his
Yeah,
Cowboy.
Jerry Jones documentary. They don't not about the Cowboys. It's about Jerry Jones.
Listen, I got more respect for Jerry Jones after watching that.
Oh yeah.
Boy, that was a fantastic documentary. So that's what I think about when it comes to the football season thus far, since we haven't got an official game
Yeah.
yet. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Is there a conspiracy against primetime sons? Hey,
So
look, man, I had a picture that I saw. The internet's crazy, man. We got to get rid of the internet before it gets. All right, man. I saw a picture. They had Shador and Shiloh in Toronto Argonauts uniforms talking about they just got signed by the city.
No,
It's
man.
crazy, man. I can't stand the internet, man. That shit crazy. Well, go ahead, cuz.
Yeah, so this is why we need a blockchain, right? This is why blockchain tech is necessary, right? We
Mhm.
need verification for
Right,
this news. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Because I
right,
didn't see Shiloh get picked up by the Steelers about 80 million times, different platforms, and so it's imperative that people do their due diligence before
Yo,
sharing and reposting things.
misinformation is big business. Hey,
seriously.
I saw Cuba Gooding, and he was with three men, fucking, and just make
Right,
up any headline
right,
and post it as it's true, and you just hope a few dumb motherfuckers believe it.
right.
Oh yeah, I saw President Biden fighting Tyson. He whooped his ass. You're
Yeah,
like, damn, they just want you to click on it to see
right,
to get the
right.
virus.
Ridiculous shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
engagement is
Uh-huh.
everything, but
Yeah.
we're on our way of getting rid of a lot of that. The new tech that's about to be rolled out, the NFT, the smart contracts, all that type of stuff is about to and then your data will live with you, right? You'll connect to Facebook or Instagram through a wallet of some sort, right?
Right,
And your data that you're sharing with that platform will live with you. And so if you want to be a troll, if you want to say bad things about people that's untrue,
Yeah.
it's going to live with you, and it's not going to bode very well for you in your future. So
right.
Yeah. I don't want
Accountability.
that
Yeah,
part.
hey, out of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, going down. Because my man, Kool, man, he's taxi cab for his kids, man. So he got, yeah, you know what I mean. Oh, Daddy Uber, you know what I mean. I'm in that
Mm-hmm.
club too, man. So yo, man, that's what I wanted to ask you about, because y'all in Cali and I'm in Maryland, and both our governors are trolling the president right now. And man, I get it, and honestly, man, I've said this many times on Sands on Sports, man. I want the president to be a fucking nerd. He don't even have sex. He don't smoke, don't drink, don't cuss, don't do. He fuck. He's AI, I guess. I don't know, but it's like the mud slinging. I get it. Westmore has some cool things, funny things. What do you call them, man? Bone spur president. But man, do you want the people who's in charge of people's lives even indulging in such stuff, man? Like I said, from the president to the governors. How do y'all feel about that?
I mean, I think the reason why it's all become so normalized is just how outlandish it's gotten to be. You know what I mean? Like, so now the things that you thought you would never hear come out of the mouth of a politician, it's like, yeah, it's Man, it's worse than probably what we would be saying to each other just fucking around. Like they're literally saying a bunch of shit and talking a bunch of shit and lying, like lying through their teeth. Like it's this one upping each other. So I mean, I'm like, is it because they want to, you know, I I actually kind of liked it when there was like some sort of respect, but it's like they're more just disrespectful than rappers are. You know what I mean? Like they're saying shit like most of the time rappers will be like, oh, well, we're not gonna even say anything about that. We'll just keep it this, right? They're just saying whatever now. Like, so I'm like, I get it, it's like someone punches you with a someone kicks you in the nuts. Okay, well, I could hit them in the nuts back, I guess. Like that's how they're playing now. And it's crazy to me. It's almost like, it's like that movie Idiocracy or whatever, right? It's just like
Yeah,
all the shit that you thought was a parody, like we're living in a fucking parody right now. Like the politicians are acting worse than middle schoolers, man. Like worse than junior high schoolers. Like it's crazy to me. It's I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are, but
Yeah, the the new metrics are is mind shares, right?
right,
How do you cut through? Like if someone's posting, your friends are posting derogatory shit,
right.
cut through to get people's attention. And that's essentially what's happening. You have people saying things, and once they get your attention, they end up spinning it into a narrative. And so when we, the people, only respond to certain things being said, then expect that politician to continue to do that. And then spin it into whatever narrative it needs to push some type of policy, right? We're watching that on the X platform, right?
Hmm.
Watching the algorithms on Facebook, Instagram, right? Where it's not even social media anymore. It's like idea media, right? It's like if you're into watermelons and you post nothing but watermelons, you're gonna have everybody around you talking about watermelons.
Right,
So your algorithm is actually telling on you right now
right,
at this point.
boy, boy.
You
right,
like looking at fat asses? Guess what you gonna see
Yeah,
on fat asses.
right, right.
Donkey Kong. Oh, some donkey. Okay, that's okay. Well, I can dig. I can dig. Well, I just want to run through a couple more questions. The Daddy Olympics, man. How are the Daddy Olympics going, man? Cause you're. Well, what you said? You had an 11-year-old, an 8-year-old.
I have a 11-year-old and a 13-year-old that's about to be
Oh,
14. Yeah, yeah,
oh,
yes.
okay, yeah,
So yeah, my
yeah,
son's in eighth grade. Man, I he is super disciplined. Like he plays basketball. He's really good, very athletic, but he's the one that's like, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna go do that, and he'll
Mhm.
he'll want to work out. We're on vacation. He's like, well, I'm gonna run ahead on the trail, and he runs like a mile out, and runs a mile back. He's like, because I'm not training right now. So I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like on his own. He's like,
You're
he
not
gets it
ready.
from my wife. Like he's just like, and then my daughter is super creative, like artistic as heck. She'll walk into a meeting like this and she'll be like, why don't you do this? And they'll be like, everyone's like, man, that's a brilliant idea. And she's like, because if you did this, and I'm like, dude, she's just going off her head, but she's always got like $1 million ideas just all day. And she's extra creative. She's also playing sports too, but her niche is like music, creativity,
Yeah,
anything like out the box concept. All the visionaries sit there going, dang man, like, and then she'll come back. I wrote all those ideas down for you. She just drops it, and
yeah,
there's like all these ideas, like merch, video ideas, concepts. If you could do this, oh, if you could use this to do this, and we're just like, holy shit, like,
wow.
so yeah, yeah. So totally different personalities, but both of them, like, I couldn't be more proud of, man. Like, super smart, sweet kid, like kind kids, kind-hearted kids, and
Yeah,
they're doing pretty good. So I'm like, I can't say enough about just being blessed that they're even just regular and healthy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that being said, like, I'm just appreciative just to have healthy kids. But yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's fun. But as you say,
It's the
What?
Olympics.
Yeah, it's like,
Alpha
damn.
line.
Look at this schedule, man. Like, what the, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it, whether it's the game or the concert at a Christmas concert or whatever they have at school? How important is it for dad to be in the bleachers? 1 to 10.
Uh, I'd probably say 9.
Okay.
Like they expect me to be there, but if for some reason, oh, I'm gonna be in Hawaii right now. I got something to do over there.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, damn. But for certain things, it's like you're gonna be there, right? You're gonna be there, right? And
yeah, yeah.
and, and my wife is like, yeah, you should go to his thing and I'll go to her. You know what I mean? Or whatever. It'd be certain things like one of us like being there helps ease the nerves or something like
Yeah,
that. You
yeah.
know what I
I
mean? But
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
can't leave
pretty
your partner stranded. You know what I mean,
exactly.
that's some sucker stuff, and you gonna get the gas face with
For
boys.
sure, for sure, for sure.
Well, busted, man. Hey, we coming up on the hour, man. So we are out of the fourth quarter. The game is over. Key, cool, man. You was up and down the court, running showtime, baby. So I thank you for coming on the show. And I just got one thing to say before we go out, and this is for the NFL. So I'm just praying the NFL that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift just got engaged. Please don't make the NFL season Love Island 2. Please. I'm praying that the NFL leaves their relationship out of the season. Please, NFL. Let's just play some football. We don't need to see all the shit going on through the season leading up to the Super Bowl because this is gonna look like a fugazi. It's gonna look like a fugazi. So, NFL commissioner, what was his name? Raj, leave that shit out of the game this year, man. What you got, cuz?
Uh, that's fantastic. I don't know how to top that. Stay hydrated. And I've been reading a book called The Devil You Know by Charles M. Blow. It's the Black Power Manifesto. So it's pretty good read. I'll leave y'all with that.
Smart shit, no doubt, man. Well, keep cool, man. Let everybody know how to get in contact with you, what you got coming out. Somebody want to get a verse, because you see you got the mic right there. So, you know what I mean? Holler at Keep Cool, and we're going to charge you studio time. You see the mics, but we still charging studio time. You know what I mean? Definitely, definitely. So let everybody know how to get at you, social media handles and all that, fam.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Keycool, KEYKOOL, or at The Visionaries. That's probably the easiest way to just DM me there. We got a new Visionaries record coming out by the end of the year. Also, Key Cool and Rhythmatic follow-up record. That's the first time we're doing a record since 1995 because we just been all full on Visionaries. So we're finishing a record right now. So that's what we got going on, and you know. If you want to get Visionaries music, vinyl, gear, any of that, Visionaries Hip Hop store, and we got a lot of OG presses and vinyl there too. So
That's dope.
yep, that's it.
Check this out, man. I'm Jay Sands. That's Tahir Jahi. That's Keep Cool. And this is Sands on Sports, y'all. And hey, yo, check it out. And we got my main man over here growling. And this is Theo. And this is Sands on Sports. And we out of here, y'all.
All
Peace.
right.